Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of How to Study Your Bible. And on behalf of Discovery Club, we would like to thank you so much for your overwhelming response to our last video. So if you haven't checked it out, click or tap somewhere around your screen to check it out. So let's get to it.
Yes.
Now that you're ready to study the Bible, you have your heart and soul, your body and mind ready, let's get to the actual studying of the Bible. And that happens when you have a strong foundation. And so what makes a strong foundation? It's when you have all the important ingredients and elements together. Just like, drinking boba. How can you drink boba when there's no pearl, or when there's no milk tea, or when there's no syrup? You must have all of them together to create the ultimate experience.
I love it so much. I've been drinking it for this is my 7th cup this week, I think.
It's the start of the week, Annie.
And with that, you might be wondering, what are the ingredients in laying the foundation to reading your Bible? Well, it boils down to two things: content and context. Content meaning the books, the chapters, the verses that you see, you read, and you study in the Bible. And context meaning the questions surrounding the content in the Bible. So here's another Bible verse for you as to why you should read the Bible, and it comes from 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 15, and it says, "Be diligent to present yourself approved to God, a worker who does not need to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth." So we obviously know what the content is, but what about the context? Well, here are 5 questions that you can ask in order to understand it better. The questions are: who, what, where, when, and why. Let's take the book of Daniel for instance, specifically in chapter 2. In Daniel chapter 2 verse 20 to 23, it says, "Daniel answered and said, 'Blessed be the name of God forever and ever, for wisdom and might are His.'" Verse 21, "And He changes the times and the seasons. He removes kings and raises up kings. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to those who have understanding." Verse 22, "He reveals deep and secret things. He knows what is in the darkness, and light dwells with Him." Verse 23, "I thank you and praise you, O God of my fathers. You have given me wisdom and might, and have now made known to me what we asked of you. For you have made known to us the king's demand." So when you look at these Bible verses, you might be thinking, what is Daniel rambling on about? Well, in order to understand, that's where the 5 questions, aka the context, comes in handy. So who are we looking at? Well, obviously Daniel. And what is he doing? He's speaking to God after God reveals the dream of King Nebuchadnezzar to him. The whole meaning and all that. And when is it happening? Well, according to research, it's probably between the 3rd to 2nd century BC. And where is this happening? In Babylon, after Jerusalem was besieged by King Nebuchadnezzar. And why is this all happening? Well, obviously, you got to read the chapters before. You got to understand that, Daniel and his 3 other friends were from Jerusalem. And, King Nebuchadnezzar, who's from Babylon, actually took them from where they were and forced them to be there. Here's the thing, you gotta understand that Jerusalem, where Daniel was from, was besieged by King Nebuchadnezzar from Babylon. And so Daniel and his friends were chosen to serve in the king's palace because, they were quick to learn, they were good looking, and of course they had lots of wisdom. As you read in the beginning of chapter 2,
In the beginning.
well, King Nebuchadnezzar has a dream, and he basically asked all his wise men to interpret his dream for him. But, they couldn't. So he got so pissed that he actually wanted them killed. So in chapter 1 of Daniel, well, he actually passed through a test where he only ate vegetables for 10 days with the rest of his friends, of course, while another group of young men were eating meat. And because of that situation, in Daniel chapter 1 verse 17, "As for these 4 young men, God gave them knowledge and skill in all literature and wisdom, and Daniel had understanding in all visions and dreams." So that's why we need context in order to understand Daniel chapter 2 verse 20 to 23. Because imagine what Daniel was going through. He was struggling, he was taken out from his homeland into somewhere foreign. It's like as if you are where you are right now and someone dragged you and forced you to move to somewhere totally foreign that you've never been to before. And knowing this context adds weight to what Daniel is saying. Now, that was just an example of what you can do in finding the context behind the content. And if you're wondering how you can do it at home, well, of course, there's a few ways to do it. Number one, asking Pakcik Google.
Cuckoo! What is raining today?
Secondly is by getting a study Bible. And the great thing about study Bibles is that there are introductions to the actual book before you even start reading it. Or of course, you can get Bible encyclopedias, just good old resources to help you out. So that's all for part 2 of how to study your Bible. Stick around because next week we've got the last part of how to study your Bible. So I'm excited and I can't wait. Until then, see you. Hey there, thank you so much for watching this video. And if you would like to be a part of Discovery Club, we have gatherings every Saturday from 5 to 7 p.m. at the GK Hall at Glory Christian Center, Kota, Kinabalu. Now, if you felt that this video has helped you in one way or another, then why not subscribe to us and share it with a friend? Also, stay connected with us by following us on Instagram at Discovery Club KK. Until then, be blessed.